Recently, one of my mentorship clients said to me that it's not the technicalities of photography he struggles with, but merely finding the motivation to get off the sofa and head out with his camera. I think we've all been there, when we look out the window and think, hey, it looks like it's going to be a good sunset tonight, but for one reason or another, we choose not to go out. Or more commonly, when our alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and we hit that snooze button, or turn it off completely. This happened to me recently. I'd made plans to get out for sunrise, but rather than getting out of bed straight away, I snoozed for half an hour. I still made it out, but I ended up missing the best light and what turned out to be one of the most colourful sunrises I'd seen in a long time.
This is the sort of things you miss when you sit at home procrastinating, dreaming and thinking I should get out of bed, but I'll give myself an extra 10 minutes.
Despite not being on location early enough to capture the best light, I still felt incredibly grateful to have gone out and witnessed it.
I am just grateful that despite my half an hour of procrastination this morning and overthinking things, that I made it out just in time to witness this. I've still got a chance to get some photographs. I've missed the best of the light, but there's still opportunity. And one thing we all have to be grateful for in life is just getting out to enjoy moments like this. I've said it before, it's not all 100% about the photography, it's about the experience of being outdoors. And while I am slightly kicking myself this morning for missing this stunning light, I still witnessed it, and there's still hope. There's still hope of getting an image.
In the past, I always used to beat myself up for missing the epic sunrises or sunsets, but now I am grateful just to witness them. The photographer within me still felt a bit disheartened though, to know I'd missed this incredible photo opportunity. I only had myself to blame, but I didn't dwell on it. Instead, I got my camera out and attempted to capture what was left of this beautiful early morning light.
So I guess the moral of this story is get out of bed, get off the sofa and get out with your camera, because otherwise you're never going to win, you're never going to get those shots. But if you have a morning like I have this morning where you do procrastinate, where you do lie in, still get up and still get out, because as I hope this morning has proved to you, despite me missing the best of the light with my camera, I was still able to see it with the naked eye, enjoy it, immerse myself in it, and then get some interesting shots at the end of this beautiful patterns in the sand with the sun rising behind it. It's now 2 days later. This morning I didn't hit snooze on my alarm, I didn't lie in bed procrastinating. I got up, in fact I woke up 20 minutes before my alarm was due to go off, which made it a little bit easier to get out of bed this morning. So I'm here, and I'm here early enough to witness the sunrise pretty much from start to end. But the slight problem this morning is that the conditions are completely different to what they were 2 days ago, which is what you'd expect. I'm not completely sure how this morning's going to go, because behind me we've got this large blanket of cloud, but there is a break at the bottom of it, so I'm hoping we might get some sunrise light coming through it. But the main difference this morning is today we've not got that really nice high up wispy clouds that lit up beautifully the other morning. Instead we've got these clouds here, which are much lower lying, they're less likely to light up with that post sunrise glow. Therefore I'm not probably going to get those colours this morning that we had 2 days ago. But because I'm here early enough, I'm able to adapt to the conditions and hopefully capture any beautiful light that we are lucky enough to have this morning. And that's the joy of getting up early enough to get on location and wait for the light. Nice pink light behind me right now, but it's not captivating me much. So my plan is that hopefully once the sun has risen and we get some nice light streaming over the sea behind me here, that we're going to get some nice colours from the clouds and just some nice light streaming over the water. The great thing about moving water like waves is that the water catches the light in different ways, and especially when the sun is rising or setting and it's low on the horizon, you get this lovely stream of light just going over the water, and it can be so beautiful. But what I wanted to speak about while we're waiting for that to happen is this idea of hitting that snooze button, of procrastinating, and of dreaming of your dream landscape photographs, but not actually being out there in the field and taking them. One thing that's become very clear to me recently, both by reviewing my old images and deciding which ones are my favourites, by running my mentorship programme and helping people progress in their own photography journeys, and more recently yesterday I was asked to help judge the Scottish Landscape Photographer of the Year Awards. And one thing that hit me straight away when I was reviewing the images is that the majority of them were compositionally sound. The exposures were very, they were perfect. But the ones that I ranked the highest and that I felt were worthy of winning the awards were the ones that captured the light. So whether that was a beautiful sunrise or sunset, beautiful light going over the landscape, or whether that was light that was changing between weather fronts and storms, or there was rainbows. But the point I'm making here is the best images weren't, the thing that made those images award-winning to me weren't the composition or the exposure. Obviously these were part of the judging process, but the ones that were worthy of those awards, in my opinion, were the ones that had captured the light incredibly well and captured these moments in nature that the majority of us miss. And it's true, if you want to be a good landscape photographer, you can buy whatever camera you want. It doesn't matter what camera you use at the end of the day. You can buy whatever camera, lenses, equipment you want. You can decide what settings you want to do. You can master exposure, you can master composition, but ultimately the best images are the ones that capture interesting light. And one thing I found as well with my mentorship program is that while we all struggle with different things, and some people struggle with the technical technical aspect of photography, some people struggle with the compositional side of things, and some people just struggle to get what they see and what they want on camera. And some people just struggle to find new projects and creative outlets. But one thing I'm finding is that people tend to be able to master settings and exposure and compositions, you know, over a number of years, but you know, they begin to master them with practice. But the one thing that many people miss in their photographs is that light. A lot of people go out just during the day and photograph very flat light, the light that we're all used to. But the people who really stand out from the crowds are the ones who get up early and capture the sunrise light, or the ones that stay out late and capture the sunset light, or the ones that are out in changeable weather during the day and get those incredible weather fronts coming through with light on the landscape. And it's that light ultimately that makes your photographs interesting, unique, that tells a story, and that allows them to, well, I guess be award-winning if that's what you want, but most importantly allows them to be different and interesting and unique. So that's kind of one thing I wanted to speak about today, was this idea of procrastination. The more we hit the snooze button, the more we procrastinate, the more we stay in bed, you know, you're not going to get those images. And the one thing that will help you get better landscape shots is just to get out in nature and embrace it. If you're not out here, you're not going to get the photographs. You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be out on location. So just think about that next time, because it's so important. Well, I'm pretty certain that unfortunately the light isn't really going to happen, just by the looks of things, and we're not going to get the images that I'd hoped to get of the beautiful crashing waves here that I'd hoped would happen this morning. But nevertheless, it's such a joy to be here this morning, and what I've just been doing is I've been zooming into the sea and photographing. There's some clouds on the horizon, and there seems to be a few rain showers that are coming down out to sea, so I've been photographing them with some interesting things on the horizon, like a shipwreck and all that kind of things, just to try and utilise the conditions that we do have and try and go home with something interesting. But it's a good point, I think, to end this video on, to show you how procrastinating and daydreaming about getting out and getting those images is never going to result in you getting the photographs you want. You know, if I'd got up early 2 days ago, like I'd intended to, I would have been able to have captured those beautiful fiery clouds. And yes, I wasn't disappointed that morning, because I got that nice shots of the sand dunes with the sun coming through and those beautiful patterns, which I absolutely love. But I did miss that fiery red clouds that I could have got some epic images of over this beach. So next time you hear your alarm go off, get up and enjoy it. There's always going to be days when we don't, you know, where we stay in bed, and sometimes it's the best decision for us. You know, if we're exhausted, we need to rest. But if you've made plans to get up early and come out, or if you're sitting on your sofa thinking, it looks like it might be a nice sunset tonight, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered going out, just get your shoes on, grab your camera and get out, because you're never going to get the good photographs unless you're out there in the landscape. Yeah, so that's the tip for today's video. If you want to be a good landscape photographer, you've got to be out there embracing these conditions. And I have to tell you, although I didn't get the conditions I wanted this morning, actually being out here early in the morning, there's only a few other people on the beach, so I've practically got it to myself. This beats being in bed any day. It's just so beautiful. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. Stop daydreaming, stop procrastinating, grab your camera and get out, and your photographs will, you know, you're much more likely to get those images you want, and your photography will improve dramatically. I'll hopefully see you all again next time.